Rise of the Tomb Raider. Exploring ancient ruins, scaling dangerous cliffs, and uncovering lost secrets never gets old, especially when every corner of the world is packed with clever little surprises. Whether it's stumbling across hidden challenges or figuring out how to open long-forgotten tombs, there's always something waiting to pull you off the main path and reward your curiosity. The way movement and exploration blend together makes every climb and jump feel like part of a bigger puzzle. Each new area seems to encourage stopping, looking around, and planning the best way forward. Whether it's clinging to icy ledges, swinging across gaps, or sneaking through dense forests, the sense of freedom always shines through. Combat feels sharp and fluid, and there's a really satisfying rhythm to switching between stealth, traps, and full-on action. One moment you're creeping through tall grass, setting up the perfect takedown, and the next you're crafting explosives mid-fight to tip the odds in your favor. It's the kind of gameplay that rewards players for thinking a few steps ahead, but never punishes anyone for going in guns blazing. The crafting system adds another layer of fun to the whole experience. Gathering resources from the environment, upgrading gear, and fine-tuning your tools make every scavenged item feel like it has real purpose. Whether it's building new equipment or unlocking new abilities, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth picks up where the previous chapter left off, bringing players back into a vast world filled with adventure, danger, and a cast of characters who've become legends in the gaming world. From the get-go, it's clear this game is packed with excitement and fresh gameplay that keeps everything feeling dynamic. The combat in this installment is a blast. You've got that real-time action that keeps you on your toes, but with the added bonus of being able to switch between characters mid-fight. Whether you're hacking away with Cloud's sword or casting magic with Aerith, every battle feels like a full-on spectacle. The addition of synergistic moves between your party members adds a nice touch of strategy, turning even the smallest skirmish into something fun to plan for. It's a system that feels fresh, but still keeps that familiar vibe from the original game. You'll find yourself figuring out how to mix up attacks, adding that extra layer of depth. And speaking of layers, the world is massive. Forget linear paths, this is an open world where you can roam and explore at your own pace. From quaint villages to epic landscapes, there's always something to discover. Whether it's side quests or mini-games like the card game Queen's Blood, the world is just brimming with little details to keep you occupied. It's one of those games where you're as likely to get distracted by the world as you are to stick to the main story. Character development shines in this one, with the gang getting even more depth. Lining up that perfect shot never gets old, especially when the game gives you every reason to obsess over the details. Wind, distance, heart rate, even the angle of the target. That's where Sniper Elite Resistance instantly hooks you. This isn't just about pulling the trigger, it's about setting up the moment so perfectly that the payoff is as satisfying as it can possibly get. Sniper Elite Resistance really leans into the thrill of planning each encounter, especially when the game hands you the freedom to shape your own approach. One mission might have you stalking rooftops for the best sniping nest, while another lets you booby-trap paths, trigger environmental hazards, or even set up some sneaky diversions. There's something endlessly entertaining about the way it rewards patience as much as it rewards bold moves. The game shines the most when you start using all the toys it gives you. There's a whole loadout system that lets you tweak your gear, from swapping scopes to picking the right suppressor or even adjusting the ammo type depending on the challenge. Every mission turns into a kind of puzzle, and it's up to you whether you want to solve it loud or quiet, from a mile away or up close. What's fun is how the world around you can be just as deadly as your sniper rifle. Sniper Elite Resistance lets you rig traps and use the environment to your advantage, which makes the action feel way more creative than just a point-and-shoot affair. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This one is all about that spacefaring, galaxy-hopping, decision-making adventure that knows how to hit every sci-fi sweet spot. It's not just a game, it's 3 full games bundled into one giant, choice-driven journey where every decision matters, every conversation counts, and every action feels like it could tip the scales of the universe. What makes it really stand out is how tight and fluid the gameplay feels now. The improvements to the first title bring it in line with the others. smoothing out combat, making gunplay feel satisfying, and tightening up all the mechanics that used to feel a little creaky. It's got that modern polish now, and it makes the whole experience way easier to jump into and stay immersed in. The best part is how consistent everything is across the trilogy. The character creator has been unified, so whether you go with a custom build or stick with the default face, the look and feel carry across all 3 games, and the load of DLC packed in from the get-go just makes it feel complete. No more missing out on side missions or extra gear, everything's just there ready to dive into. Choices in this thing are wild. It's not just a one-and-done kind of deal. What you decide early on ripples through all 3 games, creating some big emotional payoffs down the line. It adds a level of weight that a lot of other games just don't have. You're not just playing, you're shaping a universe with 1,000 moving parts. The thrill of charging through the streets of a Nazi-occupied Paris with a partner by your side is a wild ride. There's something about the chaos of jumping in, guns blazing, and trying to stay alive while you tear through hordes of enemies. That's exactly the vibe you get from this game. The cooperative gameplay brings a refreshing dynamic to the usual shooter experience. Whether you're teaming up with a friend or rolling with an AI buddy, there's always something fun about having backup when things get out of hand. The game lets you step into the shoes of the Blazkowicz twins, Jess and Soph, who are on a mission to track down their missing father. But the real joy comes in how you approach the world. It's a semi-open zone, which gives you the freedom to explore and discover all the little secrets tucked away in the corners. Plus, the mission structure keeps things interesting enough to feel like there's always something to work toward, even when you're just mopping up enemies in a zone. The RPG elements really stand out too. It's not just about picking up weapons and going full speed ahead. You can actually level up and tweak your characters, which adds a nice layer of depth to the gameplay. You get to make choices on how you want to play, whether it's getting up close and personal with heavy weapons or sneaking around, picking off enemies with precision. The variety of combat approaches gives it a nice replay value, letting you switch things up depending on your mood. And let's not forget the weapons. This game has a solid arsenal to keep things spicy. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is the perfect way to swing into action and experience a whole new level of superhero excitement. Whether you're new to the world of Spider-Man or you're jumping back in, this remastered edition does an excellent job of refining everything that made the original so special. One of the things that really stands out is how seamless everything feels. From the moment you take control, you're thrust into a vibrant and bustling New York City, where every corner feels alive. The fluidity of swinging through the streets, navigating skyscrapers, and dodging traffic just feels so satisfying. There's something about the sense of freedom that comes with being Spider-Man that makes every little trip across the city a joy. You're not just getting from point A to point B, you're enjoying every second of the ride. Combat, too, has been tightened up in the remastered version. The web-slinging, wall-crawling, and acrobatic moves come together in a way that feels really natural. It's one of those games where you can get into a flow, chaining together punches, web shots, and takedowns almost like you're performing a dance. And when you throw in the variety of suits and upgrades, it keeps things fresh every time you face off against a new wave of enemies. And let's not forget about the co-op content. If you want even more action, there's DLC that introduces additional missions and new suits. Whether you're playing through the extra content or revisiting the main game, there's always something to keep you hooked. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth brings a refreshing twist to the franchise, giving us a bigger, bolder world to dive into. Right from the start, it's clear this game knows how to balance humor and heart, keeping things light while packing plenty of emotional punches. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the series, there's so much to love about this latest adventure. First up, let's talk about the dual protagonist setup. The game gives us Ichiban Kasuga and Kazuma Kiryu, two iconic characters with their own unique styles, but their paths cross in such a way that it feels like a natural, rewarding experience. You get to explore the dynamics between them, and even if you're jumping in fresh, there's plenty to catch on to. The whole idea of having two characters with such different backgrounds and personalities is a fantastic way to give players a little variety in how they approach things. The combat system is a blast. If you've played the previous titles, you'll recognize the turn-based RPG combat, but it's got some seriously cool additions that make it feel fresh. The ability to mix things up with different job classes, plus the added twist of real-time brawling with Kiryu, adds so much versatility. It keeps battles exciting, and each encounter feels like it's a chance to show off your best skills. And of course, there's no shortage of side activities to keep you busy. The game has a ton of mini-games and optional content that range from managing a resort in Hawaii to taming quirky creatures. It Takes Two. This one is all about pure co-op magic, the kind of game that reminds you why playing with someone else can be so much fun. Every part of it is built around two players working together, and the way it pulls that off is nothing short of brilliant. One second you're pulling off a clever puzzle, the next you're flying, sliding, fighting, or goofing around in some wild, unexpected way. It never sticks to one idea for too long, and that's what makes the whole thing feel so fresh from start to finish. What's really cool is how smooth everything flows. One moment you're getting the hang of a new ability, the next you're combining it with your partners in ways that make you feel like the two of you just pulled off something way smarter than you expected. It never tries to overwhelm, but it definitely knows how to keep both players engaged without either side feeling left behind. The game loves variety, and it shows. No two levels are really the same, and the mechanics always match the situation in fun and sometimes ridiculous ways. Whether you're leaping around or using some quirky new gadget, there's always something clever happening in the design. It really leans into creativity without making things complicated, which keeps everything fun and light. One of the best parts is how much it encourages teamwork without making it stressful. Every challenge is built around communication, timing, and a bit of shared thinking, but the game never punishes mistakes too hard. Monster Hunter World kicks things off with an exciting premise. You're hunting massive creatures, each more fearsome than the last, all while exploring an incredibly detailed world. It's not just about slashing away with your weapon. There's strategy, preparation, and a bit of patience involved. You've got to get the right gear, pick the right weapon, and make sure you understand the behavior of the creatures you're going after. Gameplay-wise, it's got a real sense of flow. You'll spend your time crafting, gathering materials, and scouting out the perfect spot to take down your target. But it's not just all about the hunt. There's a lot of exploration that goes into it too. From dense forests to desert landscapes, each area has its own feel and is filled with its own unique challenges. The combat is a highlight here, with each weapon feeling unique, offering a whole range of playstyles. Whether you're going in for fast, nimble attacks or prefer the heftier, slower hits, there's a weapon that fits your style. You're constantly adjusting, learning new tricks, and adapting to what the monsters throw your way. One of the coolest features of this game is how it encourages teamwork. You're not just hunting solo. You've got a team of hunters working alongside you, and that coordination can make or break a mission. If you're feeling extra bold, you can even go it alone, though you'll definitely find it more challenging. The world itself is full of life and surprises. Horizon Zero Dawn is like stepping into a world where nature and futuristic tech just click. Picture this, a vast, open world filled with towering mechanical creatures and lush landscapes, with Aloy as your fearless guide. You won't find any boring old robots here. These machines are like the apex predators of the future, each one with its own quirks, and you'll need to figure out how to deal with them. Some of these bots are big and bad, while others are sneaky and fast, so strategy becomes your best friend. As Aloy, you're not just hunting down these creatures, though. Let's be real, it's really fun to take them down with some precision archery. You'll also be exploring ancient ruins, collecting resources, and crafting some cool gear. Crafting is a huge part of this game. You'll be constantly on the lookout for materials to upgrade your weapons, build traps, or make sure you have the right ammo. It's all about thinking ahead, using your environment, and planning your next move. The combat system is one of those that feels simple enough for anyone to pick up, but deep enough to keep you on your toes. You'll quickly realize that blasting away doesn't always cut it. It's about learning your enemy, exploiting weaknesses, and using everything you've got at your disposal. Whether that's a well-placed trap, some explosive arrows, or just outsmarting the machines. The real fun comes from taking down a big machine that looks impossible at first, but with patience and strategy, you come out on top. Hitman 3 wraps up the World of Assassination trilogy with style, offering players a truly thrilling experience. From start to finish, it's all about making stealthy decisions, perfecting the art of assassination, and feeling like the world's most dangerous secret agent. This is one of those games where the challenge isn't just about completing objectives, but finding the most creative, slick, and clever ways to take down targets. Each mission takes you to an entirely new, meticulously crafted location, from the towering skyscrapers of Dubai to the lush vineyards of Mendoza. There's always something unique to each setting, and that's what makes it so much fun to explore. The freedom you get to approach each mission in so many different ways is what makes it stand out. Want to go full stealth, taking out enemies without anyone ever knowing? You can do that. Prefer a more explosive approach? Go for it. There's no single right way to do things here, and that flexibility is key to keeping every mission fresh. The gameplay is all about choice. You can blend in with the crowd, use disguises, or find a hidden spot to wait until your target strolls by. The tools and weapons you have at your disposal range from silenced pistols to remote explosives, so the ways you can approach a mission are endless. But what really sets it apart is the way the levels are designed. There are so many little interactions you can discover. A simple act like tampering with the environment could lead to a completely unexpected outcome. Imagine a world where you get to control magical echoes that let you solve puzzles, create paths, and even fight enemies in cool ways. That's exactly what you get with this Zelda game, where Zelda herself steps up to the plate and takes the lead. You're not just exploring as a sidekick anymore. This time, she's the hero and the world's on her shoulders. Right from the get-go, you're handed a magical tool called the Tri-Rod. It's a staff with a big twist. It can summon echoes, copies of objects, and even enemies. These echoes are super handy for solving puzzles, getting through obstacles, and even using enemy powers to your advantage. It's the kind of mechanic that makes you think on your feet and experiment. There's no one right way to do things, which means the more creative you are, the better. Of course, it's not all about solving puzzles with your echoes. Zelda gets her own combat abilities, and one of the coolest parts is her sword fighter form. This transformation lets her use Link's sword and take on enemies in a more action-packed way. Managing your energy for these moments is key, so there's definitely a bit of strategy involved, making each fight feel fresh. As for the world you're exploring, it's filled with some really interesting areas like forests, deserts, and mountain ranges. And if that's not enough, there's also the still world. This mysterious dimension is frozen in time, with people trapped in stasis, and it's where most of your adventure goes down. Star Wars Jedi Survivor picks up the pace with all the thrills we've come to expect from a Jedi adventure. If you're ready for a game that's all about fluid lightsaber combat and epic force powers, this one's definitely got your back. The combat is taken to the next level, with multiple lightsaber stances that let you tailor your playstyle. Whether you're slashing through enemies with a single blade or going full-on Jedi Knight with a double-bladed saber, there's a stance for every kind of mood you're in. And don't get me started on the crossguard stance, definitely a satisfying way to bash through the toughest enemies. Traversal, it's smooth and slick. Gone are the days of just walking around. Now you're wall running, double jumping, and grappling across massive landscapes. It makes getting around feel like a part of the action, not just a chore. Whether you're scaling cliffs or swinging between platforms, everything feels fast and fluid. It's one of those things where after a few minutes, you're just totally immersed in the movement. Plus, there are mounts now so you can get around even faster. It's a nice touch for the bigger, open-world sections of the game. Then, there's the level design. It's all about exploration, and it's not just for show. The worlds are packed with hidden secrets and challenges. The game encourages you to get curious, poke around, and take in every little detail. And when you're solving puzzles, it never feels forced. The Order 1886 drops you right into a world where Victorian London feels almost like a living, breathing entity with a twist. Picture this, you're in the midst of a secret war between knights, mysterious half-breeds, and some seriously cool steampunk tech. It's a wild blend of history and fiction that pulls you into an alternate version of the past where things are a bit darker and a lot more dangerous. The game lets you step into the boots of Sir Galahad, one of the Knights of the Round Table, but with a modern twist. The combat here is pretty satisfying, especially with the range of weapons you get to play around with. You got your usual guns, but then you got things like the arc gun, which lets you zap enemies with electricity, and the thermite gun that's perfect for causing some serious destruction. The guns and gadgets make the combat feel fresh and inventive, and you're going to find yourself coming up with some creative ways to take down enemies, especially when things get intense. It's not just about fighting, though. The game really wants you to feel like you're part of this world, and it shows in the way you move through it. There's a lot of sneaking around, carefully choosing your next move, and figuring out the best way to approach situations. It's like being in a big puzzle where combat and exploration both play important roles. Plus, there's a bit of strategy in choosing the right weapon for the right enemy, keeping things varied and fun. While you're exploring, you'll also be encountering quick-time events, QTEs, which might not be for everyone. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 drops players right into the action with its fast-paced, tactical gameplay that everyone loves. Whether you're a seasoned veteran of the series or someone jumping in for the first time, there's something here for everyone. The game mixes the familiar with new, adding some cool updates that make it stand out. The multiplayer mode is where a lot of the fun happens. It's got a ton of different modes, so you'll never feel like you're running out of things to do. Whether you're into team-based objectives, free-for-all chaos, or tactical rescue missions, there's always a fresh way to dive in. The maps are constantly updated, and the cross-platform play means you can squad up with friends no matter what system they're on. Oh, and let's not forget about the gunsmith system, which gives you so many ways to customize your weapons. You can really dial in the perfect loadout for your playstyle, whether you're all about precision or heavy firepower. One of the standout features this time around is the integration with Warzone 2.0. It's a free-to-play battle royale mode that adds an entirely new layer of gameplay. Think of it as a massive playground for chaotic action. And if you're more into co-op, the Special Ops mode is perfect for teamwork and strategy. It really focuses on making you work with your teammates to complete complex missions, which adds a whole new dynamic compared to the regular multiplayer modes. It's also not all about run-and-gun action. Dying Light 2. Running, climbing, jumping, and vaulting over just about anything has never felt more fun than it does here. The way the whole world is built practically begs you to stay on the move, and the freedom to explore every rooftop, ledge, and crumbling balcony turns even the smallest trip across town into a mini-adventure. The movement system is smooth, sharp, and incredibly satisfying, and it's one of those things that just gets better the more you mess around with it. Every little piece of the city feels like it's been dropped into place to create a playground for creative movement. Whether it's sprinting across rooftops or gliding over streets with a paraglider, the choices stack up fast, and there's always another path waiting to be found. And the best part is how natural it all feels. Like the environment is encouraging you to bend the rules and carve your own route through the chaos. When it's time to throw down, the combat has that same snappy, reactive feeling. Swinging weapons around isn't just about brute force, it's about timing, spacing, and knowing when to block or dodge. Every encounter keeps you on your toes, especially when you're outnumbered or low on gear. Nothing beats the moment when a fight gets messy, but the right move turns the whole thing around. What really keeps everything exciting is how the world changes depending on the time of day. Rage 2. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, where you get to step into the boots of Walker, the last surviving ranger. What's awesome here is how the game gives you a ton of freedom. The open world is huge, and you can just dive right into exploring. Whether you're racing across deserts in a souped-up vehicle, hunting down bandits, or just taking a minute to blow stuff up for fun, there's always something going on. And let's talk about the guns for a second. They're ridiculously satisfying. You've got your classic shooters, assault rifles, shotguns, and pistols, but it's the crazier weapons that really steal the show. Grenade launchers that fire exploding projectiles, and shotguns that make you feel like a walking natural disaster. Then, you've got your nanotrite abilities, which just take things to another level. It's not just about shooting, It's about combining weapons and powers to create total chaos. Imagine launching enemies into the air with one ability, then mowing them down mid-flight. It's that kind of anything goes energy that makes every encounter feel like a thrill ride. The vehicle combat is another standout feature. If you thought the on-foot shooting was fun, wait until you get behind the wheel of a car with guns mounted on it. It's like Mad Max meets a first-person shooter. Whether you're tearing through enemy camps or engaging in car chases, the driving combat is just as engaging as the rest of the game. Atomic Heart Enchantment Under the Sea. This one's a wild ride through a twisted retro-futuristic world that never stops throwing weird, exciting, and downright chaotic things your way. From the moment it starts, it pulls you straight into a universe where technology, tension, and oddball humor collide in the best way. Combat is punchy and unpredictable. You're juggling weapons, powers, and some seriously strange tools that feel just the right kind of over-the-top. One second you're freezing enemies mid-sprint, the next you're shocking bots into a pile of smoking scrap. It's not just about shooting, it's about experimenting and seeing how wild things can get. The game's environments are like something out of a fever dream. One moment you're sneaking through a creepy lab, the next you're sliding across polished floors while robotic enemies close in. Every space feels different, and there's always something hidden or dangerous waiting around the corner. There's this constant sense of, what now, in the best way possible. It keeps the momentum up with bizarre surprises, creative level design, and an energy that feels both chaotic and completely intentional. It doesn't hold your hand, but it makes the ride entertaining enough that you won't mind the occasional curveball. Powers and upgrades come in strong, giving you options to tailor your approach. Whether you're all about brute force, clever traps, or messing with enemy AI, the tools are there to support your. Amnesia Rebirth is one of those games that really knows how to keep you on edge in the best way possible. It leans fully into that feeling where every dark corner feels like it could be hiding something, and every creaking sound makes you second-guess your next step. The way it blends exploration with pure nerve-twisting tension is such a cool balance, especially for anyone who enjoys games that mess with your mind as much as your reflexes. The clever part is how it constantly plays with fear, not just by throwing creepy things at you, but by making you work with light and shadows in a way that feels supernatural. There's this fun little challenge of managing your limited light sources, keeping your head clear, and trying not to lose your grip on reality while navigating places that are absolutely designed to unsettle you. It keeps the pace interesting, making even simple exploration feel like a big deal. What makes the whole experience even better is how it swaps out the usual combat for survival formula for something that focuses more on clever movement, hiding, and problem solving. The way you have to stay sharp and outthink what's lurking around rather than outgun it really adds to the excitement. It's one of those games that proves horror doesn't need to rely on cheap tricks or constant action to get your pulse racing. The puzzles scattered throughout feel like just the right kind of brain teaser too. Nightingale drops players into a world that's equal parts enchanting and dangerous, where magic and survival collide in the most intriguing way. This game takes you on a wild ride through procedurally generated realms, each one bringing something fresh and unique. Think of it like an endless adventure where every time you step through a portal, you're met with something different, from mysterious creatures to treacherous environments. And the best part? You can team up with friends and take on these challenges together, turning every mission into a collaborative quest. Now, the core of the experience here is survival. You'll be gathering resources, crafting your tools, and building your own little base in these strange lands. The crafting system isn't the kind that you'll breeze through in an hour, though. It's detailed, giving you tons of options to work with, and you'll be spending time figuring out what you need to survive, whether that's weapons for defense or shelter from the elements. Building your base is all about finding the right spot and protecting your turf, but also adding your personal touch to make it feel like home. One of the coolest aspects is the combat. This isn't your typical hack and slash setup. Instead, you've got a mix of melee combat, ranged weapons, and even magic to throw into the mix. Each fight brings something new with different enemies that will keep you on your toes, and the challenges can ramp up quickly as you progress through these varied realms. The cooperative multiplayer really brings everything together.